Well, hello everybody. John Mitchell at johnamitchell.tv. Thanks for being with me. Glad to have everybody out there watching my videos. If you like them, don't forget to comment, below the video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Makes a big difference. It means everything in the world to me. Really appreciate it. And this is January. No, it's not January. It's July the 21st, 2017. And I'm going to shock everybody out there. 2 videos in 2 days. How about that? I did the big Trump 6 months anniversary in office yesterday, and I got another video for you today. Lest anybody out there think that my channel is going to be all bashing Trump, right? It's not. This is not the all Trump all the time show. So I got something interesting to talk about today. It's about this lady named Justine Damond. Let me hold that picture up for you. Big story out of Minneapolis, Minnesota recently. Justine Damond, 40 years old, beautiful lady from Australia, came to the United States, to marry her fiance and just live out the big American dream. And unfortunately, her American dream turned out to be an American nightmare because she called 911 on one fateful evening to report to the police that she'd heard sounds outside of her house in the alleyway behind the house, thought it was some kind of sexual assault going on, thought somebody was in danger, and so she did I guess the humane thing and called the police and asked for a little bit of intervention there, like I guess good folks everywhere would do. But no good deed goes unpunished. And what happened was she had called into the police. The dispatcher told her that officers were on their way. And so when she saw the police car pull up behind the place where she lived, she went back in the alley to talk to the officers and tell them what was going on, what noises she heard, and explain the situation. She approached the driver's side of the police vehicle, and there were 2 officers inside, and the officer in the passenger seat drew his weapon and shot this lady to death in the abdomen. The lady's completely unarmed. She's in her pajamas, walking out just to meet with the police that she had called, because there, might, God forbid, be somebody in danger or whatever, right? Now, one of the things that's interesting to me is the reaction of the mayor and the police chief over in Minneapolis. And I'll show this to you. Let's see. Mayor Betsy Hodgins of Minneapolis questioned why the officers did not have their body cams turned on, which is going to be an interesting question. 2 officers there. They've been equipped with body cameras. Neither officer has their camera turned on. Interestingly enough, the patrol vehicle also has video surveillance cameras, and that was not turned on. So, I get how many thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and none of it's turned on so that we can actually see what really happened. It's tough for me to I guess understand how something like this happens. Now, the officer said that he pulled his gun and shot because she, quote unquote, startled the officers. I mean, it's dark outside. I guess the story goes it's dark outside. I'm scared of the dark. You walked up to me, therefore I felt like you were going to kill me, and now now you're dead. So too bad, so sad, right? I would say one thing, okay. First of all, why was none of that video equipment turned on? And secondly, if I would just give a piece of advice, okay, if I know that cops are out there doing a hard job, tough job. I don't want to do it, okay. Go on the record with that. I don't want to deal with all the drunk and disorderly and all the criminals and all the gangs and whatever the hell they deal with, right? But I'll tell you this, if you're that scared, I mean, if you're that scared, man, if you're that scared, God, maybe you should look for another line of work, is all I'm saying, right? And so it's interesting to me that the other thing I was going to say, the police chief in this press conference said Justine didn't have to die. Okay, so point in your favor. Okay, that's good. And I believe the actions and questions go against who we are as a department. And how we train and what the expectations we have of our officers. So just to be clear, if you're in Minneapolis, okay, and you dial 911 and call the police for help, they're on record now. They do not expect the officers to shoot you dead. Okay, so that's, I guess, small consolation to this poor lady and her family, but uh, it's not what the police chief expects. Okay, so let's give at least give that its due, right? And one of the things that was interesting to me that he didn't come out like this other police chief did in the case of John Crawford. Now, this is a couple of years old, okay, but the police chief in this case, this happened in Ohio. The police chief, they shot this man down. He was walking through Walmart with a toy gun, okay, that's sold at Walmart. It's still in its packaging, right? He's got this, toy, I guess, BB gun. It's still in its box under his arm, carrying it through Walmart. And the police chiefs, the cops showed up and shot him dead. I mean, in a matter of seconds, right? And so then the police chief says, the officers gave verbal commands to the subject to drop the weapon. Don't you love it? In the eyes of the police, we're all just subjects. So the subject was shot after failing to comply with the officer's commands. They told him to drop the weapon. What weapon? He didn't even have a weapon. Okay. And this is the psychological way that the police chief in this case is presenting it so that we all, the public, can feel that the police are really on our side and they're making us safer. And he even goes on to say the quick response of officers was instrumental in containing this situation and minimizing the risk to customers. Think about this, okay? Take that statement apart for a minute, okay? The quick response to the officers, okay, yeah, they shot the dude, the unarmed man, dead in a matter of seconds. Okay, quick response. We check that box off, okay? Instrumental in containing the situation. First of all, there wasn't a situation until the cops showed up and started gunning people down. So I don't see how they contained any situation. They showed up and made things vastly worse. And minimizing the risk to customers. Well, once again, I show you this guy, right? John Crawford. I'll tell you who was a customer in the Walmart that day. John Crawford. He was a customer. And I don't think that the officers minimized the risk to customers. I think they showed up and shot the customer dead. That's what actually happened here. But see how the police chief is completely unwilling to even give an inch, right? He's going to say that his officers are heroes because they showed up and shot this unarmed man dead in the middle of Walmart, right? But that's par for the course, man. That's why it kind of stands out to me, the mayor and police chief in Minneapolis, how they're not sticking by their officer. I mean, I congratulate them for it. I'm just a little bit surprised. And then finally, I'll show you this one other thing. This has been a couple of years back. But this happened in good old Houston, Texas, in Harris County, right? Now, these people were in turbans, but they're not Muslim. They're Sikh. Let's see, where do you say that? Sikh, Sikh. They're from India, and so turbans, just not the Muslim variety. And so these people came home one fateful evening and found a window broken and saw that people had been in their house. So they call the Harris County Sheriff's Department to come and take a report and investigate. God, somebody broke into my house, right? So I call the police, right? So the police officers showed up and said, and here's a line from the article. It says, family members say the deputies handcuffed them, roughed them up, and taunted them instead of taking a report on the break-in. They were asking them if they were Muslims. I said, I know about you Muslims. And they said, reportedly said things like, do you know anything about bombings and stuff like that? And so just a question, okay? Here's two different cases where people try and do the right thing. They call the police. But let me just ask this. If the police end up being a bunch of lawless thugs, who do you call for help then? Okay, just a question, all right? So once again, John Mitchell, johnmitchell.tv. Thanks very much for watching my video. I swear to God, I'm trying to make these videos a little bit shorter, but oh my, there's just so much to say. Anyway, thanks for being with me. And I'll try and get another video out for you people, really soon as I possibly can. So thanks.